What's happening, people? I'm here with the main man.
It's the champ.
Make sure you tune into Pep Talk UK, where it talks boxing and
big up.
Thank you, AJ.
Pep Talk UK.
Ladies and gents, for the fight fans locked in, for the football fans locked in, now it's time for some real talk on Pep Talk. Let's go.
Everyone talk good game, but it don't really faze me. The man that ain't mad like Max, the boy not murky like Ace B. And them gal walk the slide on the back balling like a baby.
Oi, oi, welcome to the Pep Talk UK Sports Podcast, the podcast that talks the major boxing and football news from around the globe, real points of view from a real panel, hashtag real talk on Pep Talk. Please subscribe to Pep Talk UK on iTunes and YouTube. Don't forget to like, share and comment. Now I'm your host Frankie B, and I'm joined by a couple of good guys. Firstly, I'd like to welcome his return once again, close friend of ours. It's the Pep Talk boy himself, MJ the Red. How you doing, brother?
Frankie B, I am not too bad. MJ back in the building. It's definitely been a while. I'll tell you what, Frankie B, London has been absolutely crazy. We've literally had snow right up to your forehead. We've had the beast from the east changing the weather in London, literally freezing everything. But I'll tell you what was perfect. This weekend was absolutely perfect weather for boxing with Kell Brook, Special K, and also DEONTAY Wilder as well, actually going up, which I'm looking forward to discussing on the pod.
Squad still rolling high.
Frankie B, and you know this. Plus, it was perfect weather for football. Liverpool recording yet more goals. Yet another brilliant win and a clean sheet. But you know what? I'm looking forward to discussing the boxing and the football with everyone on the pod today, Frankie B.
Cracking stuff. You want to shout out your social media quickly?
Yeah, social media, like Mike on Instagram 28. Find me, send me some abuse on that. Preferably just like and comment good stuff. And also, I'm on Twitter as well, MJ, Pep Talk Boy. Like, share, comment, and let's just interact.
My G. Now I'd like to welcome a man from across the pond. He's got his own YouTube channel with excellent content about boxing. He knows boxing. It's my brother, Bo from Truth and Fact Boxing. How you doing, brother?
Man, Alewa.
What's going on, man?
My man Pascal not in the building, so I gotta represent for my man.
That's it. Pascal, man, he's, somewhere on top of the Eiffel Tower, man, having a croissant with some, glass of red wine.
That's right, man. I'm so glad to be back here on Pep Talk. It's been a while. I'm just glad to be back. I'm gonna be making more appearances, man. I appreciate you guys being here, man. I always love rocking with the UK. You got the greatest boxing fans in the world.
Man, we've got that coalition thing going on, the UK, and the US, man.
That's right. And we had a Special K fight, and Earl Spence said that if he wins the title, he'll fight him at 154, and Eddie Hearn said, bring it.
Oh,
I love
it. Oh, wow. That would be something. Now, Bo, do you want to shout out your social media before we get moving?
Of course, you can follow me at Truth and Facts About Boxing on YouTube. Also on Instagram, capital Truth, capital F1. Shout out to everybody out there at the movement and everybody at the Three Kings Boxing, and especially shout out to my man at Pep Talk UK.
Yeah. Right. So we're going to start with the boxing, and we've got to talk about the breaking news this week. The man himself, Canelo Alvarez, failing a drug test, mate. Now, Bo, I don't know what it is, but there must be something in that Mexican meat, my friend.
You know what, man? Here's the thing.
I need some of that, yo.
Man, here's the thing. And the way they're presenting this, you can tell the approach to this is two things. It's A, to cover for Canelo Alvarez, because right away you have all these statements, you have all these trace amounts that's consistent with eating tainted meat. You have the WB and WBC saying making their statement. You have everybody letting you know it's not a PED, but it's a banned substance. Like, there's a big hell of a difference, right? Illegal is illegal. You might not have killed somebody, but you drove the car, but you drove the murder in your car. Doing something wrong is doing something wrong, and then on top of all of that, even if you want to tell me he might not have been juicing, even if you want to tell me that the trace amount you found is consistent with contaminated meat, when I know that it also could have been an amount you found because he was cycling, the bottom line is they knew better. You know that they got a history of tainted meat in Mexico. You should have known better. Even if I want to believe all that, which I don't, let me make it clear, you should have known better. You've been eating in Mexico how long? And you've been being tested positive. How long? You ain't never tested positive?
And you're from Mexico as well, so you know all about it. No excuses.
So you know all about it? That's what I'm saying. No excuses. I know fighters. Deontay Wilder, when he was going to fight Povetkin, he flew to the UK and he had all of his food flown in with him. $6,000 worth of food. Canelo Alvarez got twice the amount of money as Deontay Wilder. So whether you want to tell me all the Oscars, all this approach, this is Solomon not tweeting at midnight like he did when it was Luis Ortiz. This whole approach is to get you to forgive Canelo. That way, come fight time, you'll be focused on the results of the fight instead of the fact that Canelo tested positive. All it says to me is, I don't believe you.
Some people say to me, they're saying, look, the man is going to fight a man that's half man, half cyborg and Triple G. Can we blame him for juicing up when he's going against a destructive fighter?
Yes, we can, because Triple G, who's half man, half cyborg, whatever you want to call it, he don't juice. So yes, we can blame you for juicing up. That guy don't juice. And props to Triple G. I mean, they're going to take the fight, but let's call it what it is. Politics and money. It's too much money in this fight. And they don't want to roll. That's what it is.
And the fight's going to go ahead anyway. Now, MJ, like Bo was saying, it's pretty much fair to say that Canelo should have known better.
You know what, Frankie B, I never thought I'd be saying this, but to actually quote Oprah Winfrey, if you know better, you have to do better. And clearly, you know what, Golden Boy knew better, and they didn't do better. However, having said that, Frankie B, if I was going up against Triple G, I would boost. I would take every single steroid known to man just to compete, But having said that, I mean, there are kind of some conspiracy theories going out there. I mean, one conspiracy theory I actually heard being bandied about London this week is the fact that Golden Boy Promotions, their golden goose is Canelo Alvarez. Mm-hmm. And need Canelo
to win at all costs.
Exactly, kind of at all costs. And you know what? At first, when the news started to break about the failed drug test over in London here, people were actually saying, is this a clever way Golden Boy have actually found a way to actually dock Triple G by actually making Canelo just fail the drugs test intentionally, just so, I don't know, after some time they kind of dock Triple G, or they come back when Triple G, in like a year or two down the line, obviously hoping that Triple G will not be, because
his powers will wane, but the fight's still going ahead from what I know.
Yeah, I know, because any boxing fan who saw that first fight a draw, you're actually effing kidding me. There was no way that was a draw. It was literally Canelo trying the best he can, trying to actually out-punch Triple G, but his punches weren't actually landing. You could see he didn't have the power. And when Triple G turned it on in the latter rounds, you could see Canelo felt the power of Triple G. So, to be honest, it doesn't matter. Steroids, no steroids. I'm actually going to pick a winner right here, right now. Even before training camp has actually commenced, I expect Triple G. It doesn't matter how much juicing has been done. I think Triple G is going to come out the victor.
But, Bo, let's focus on Ortiz Wilder. Now, some people are saying Wilder had an unfair advantage in one of the rounds when he was given a bit of extra time to recover. Do you think that was a case of a robbery?
I'm glad you asked me that question. Okay, let's give everybody a little history lesson here. First, let me say this. It wasn't fair that the doctor jumped up at the beginning of the 8th round to do that.
Fair, yeah. Definitely.
That wasn't fair. But it wasn't a robbery. It just wasn't fair. Like, that wasn't something that should have been tolerated. But I'm going to give everybody a history lesson here. Muhammad Ali and the famous cut glove. Do people remember that? Mm-hmm. I want to know if people remember that. The famous cut glove that bought him an extra time. Tito Trinidad would hit you low when he was hurt to buy him some time.
Extra time,
so lots of lots of fighters or lots of trainers have done certain things. Like I've seen Angelo Dundee would purposely not put the mouthpiece in your mouth, so the ref would break before you start the fight. Would have you come back to get the mouthpiece, or not tape up your glove, or take too long taping up your glove so you can shout out instructions. So we've seen in boxing where everybody, there's a little bit of borrow you a few extra seconds, right? But the whole thing about the referee letting Wilder take, they should have stopped when he was on top of him. I would agree with you.
It was getting closer, stoppage, very close.
It was, but I would agree with people except for one thing. If you watch what the ref did in the 7th round and you watch what the ref did in the 10th round, the referee never jumped in between either one of those guys until somebody hit the canvas. So he was consistent in not getting in between the guys when they was hurt. The only time he jumped in is when someone touched the canvas. And that's actually is when you're supposed to jump in, because that means that guy is defenseless. So he let him fight it through when Wilder was hurt, and he let him fight him through when Ortiz was hurt. But the couple of seconds when the doctor looked at him was some BS, because if you thought you need to look at him, you had a whole 60 seconds in the corner to look at the guy. But you had a whole second look at him in the corner.
I thought he was out of there. And literally, he was holding on for dear life, mate. He's lucky, because some referees would have stopped that. He's lucky, in some respect.
He's extremely lucky, but Wilder also did a couple of good things. He would do things. Yeah, hold, put his hands up, walk forward. So he was doing things to let the ref know, hey, I got life. But I will agree with you in this aspect of, I think that the thing about Deontay is, regardless of what's going on in the fight, whether he's hurt or not, he has this tremendous amount of freaking belief in himself.
That right hand is special. That right hand is special.
Yeah, he has this thing about him that no matter what's happening, he can see light at the end of the tunnel. So I give him credit for that, but I do agree he's very lucky he had the ref that he had, because any other ref probably would have stopped that fight.
Yeah. That fight is proving a lot of his doubters wrong. A lot of people was like, Deontay Wilder's a fraud, etc., etc. He's fought nobody. And what he showed is, he shows that, look, he's got those explosive hands. When it comes to it, he can get out of jail with that explosive right hand.
He's got power, but there is one thing I want to disagree with people on. There are some people that feel like this victory over Luis Ortiz was better or more credible than Anthony Joshua's victory over Klitschko, because Klitschko was coming off a loss and he was 41. And I disagree with that only because the Klitschko fight with Tyson Fury, he didn't get beat up. It was just a fight where someone had to win. That's all it was.
Klitschko had a bad night at the office on that night.
It's still Vladimir Klitschko. So that's what I disagree. I disagree with that statement.
MJ, what do you make of the fight? As Deontay Wilder, has he convinced you now?
You know what, Frankie B? This is what we've spoken about on this pod. We've had some really great boxing coaches actually come on here who actually reckon that Deontay Wilder will actually take down Anthony Joshua. This is one that we've actually had going on here. What I will say about, oh my God! But what I will say about Deontay Wilder was the finish was absolutely brutal and clinical. So he is someone who, that boy has power. Let's just call it what it is. So if he catches you, we've always said that about the heavyweight division. Literally, he has a puncher's chance, more than a puncher's chance, going up against, because a lot of really technical coaches who have been on the podcast, they have actually gone like, you know what, we actually think technically Deontay Wilder is better than Anthony Joshua, and they actually reckon that Deontay...
Even those windmills, though. The wild swings and the windmills.
Seriously, listen, they call the boy Wilder for a reason. That's all you need to know. So yeah, but no, the women's, it's absolutely crazy. It's crazy to watch as a boxing fan. So yeah, but I mean, having said that, let us have the mega fight. I mean, this is the fight everyone in boxing, for the first time in a very long time, we've got two heavyweights that are literally at the peak of their powers. We've got Deontay now at 32. Let's have this fight now.
Bo, Joshua versus Deontay Wilder, just to conclude. For me, thinking about that fight, at first I was like, you know, AJ is just going to destroy him, right? But having watched the fight of Ortiz and Wilder last weekend, for me it's about whoever lands first wins. That's how I see it now. Straight up.
You know what? This is how I see it, and I've always said this to people. Anthony Joshua, when he fights Deontay Wilder, he needs to come in around 230, 235. That Anthony Joshua, like when he fought Dillian White and Dominic Bizzelli, he was more open. His punches were straighter. He was maybe a pinch bit faster. If he comes in at 250, because he didn't start having stamina issues until he started going up really high in weight.
Yep, 18 stone is his highest. Yep, his last fight. Yep.
So when he said 230, 235, he didn't have stamina issues like he does at 250. If he comes in 250, it's advantage Deontay Wilder. But the thing is, I just think that if Deontay, I don't know I think if Anthony Joshua lands, Deontay has showed he can withstand the punch. Now here's the difference though. If Anthony Joshua lands, is I think from a technical standpoint, what Anthony Joshua will do is like what he did to Vladimir Klitschko. He'll just keep throwing punches and throwing punches, even if they're not landing. The ref will jump in. That's the one thing Ortiz didn't do, and that's why the ref didn't jump in. So I think Anthony Joshua is smart in that aspect. He'll just keep throwing punches until the ref jumps in. Yeah. But also,
and he's considerably more powerful than Ortiz. Let's be real.
Yeah, I'll be quite yes, he is. But I just think that if Wilder lands that big right hand, I don't know how Joshua will react from a right hand like that. It's not to say that Wilder punches harder than Vlad. Vlad was 41, but I think at this phase of Wilder's career, he punches harder than a 41-year-old Vlad used to punch. And I just don't, because remember, with Wilder, when he hurts you, you're still on Court Street even when you get up. Yeah. And it's a scary thing when you see a 6'7" dude, 200 pounds, charging at you at 100 miles an hour. That is scary to see. You can't prepare yourself for that.
You think the windmill, do you think that's fully intentional? This, like, you know, that unorthodox punch that he does? Because it seems to work. It seems to throw people off, and then he can land his right hand straight through the middle. Because
technical fighters hate awkward fighters. It's hard to fight awkward fighters. When Floyd would fight Marcus Maidana, he did that. You watch that fight. Yeah.
He made it very difficult for him in the first fight.
Yeah, because technical fighters hate awkward guys because it's just hard to figure out. Normally when you're technical, you know, if a guy throws a hook, you can throw a counter hook. Well, when someone's throwing a windmill at you, you don't know what to do.
That's real talk. Now it's interview time. Now, first up, we hear from a young, aspiring light heavyweight fighting out of Wales. He is the sensation, fighting this weekend, Cody Davies.
Oi, it's Pep Talk UK, it's Frankie B, and with my good mate Shaz Mac. How you doing, bro?
I'm good, and I'm excited because I am getting to interview a young talent, someone I've got a lot of time for, a lot of respect for. It's Mr. Cody Davies. How you doing?
How you doing?
I'm doing great, thanks. All good.
Now, Cody, we in England may not appreciate you as much as people in Wales do, but I'm aware of the fact that you've got great amateur pedigree, national champion. You're already 2-0, and you've got 2 exciting fights coming up. Tell us all about them.
Yeah, obviously 2-0 as a pro already. I had a great pro debut. Boxed a guy on my second fight who's been in with the likes of Choudhury and Dillian White, and Christian Hammer, who went the distance with all of them. So yes, I've already had a lot of experience as a pro, even though I've only had 2 fights, and I've got potentially some real big fights coming up. So yeah, I can't say too much about it right now, but I'm looking forward to what the future potentially holds.
Now, you're out in Wales on the 10th of March, I believe.
10th of March.
And recently, I saw you on Dave Channel walking out a friend of mine, Mr. Joe Joyce. How was that as an experience? How did you think that fight went down?
Yeah, fight was great. Joe's improved massively. The last time I saw Joe, he was in Team GB together, and he was he's the most decorated amateur male to come out of Britain. So he was obviously doing things right. But to see him as a pro is like another step. Again, it's like another gear. He's came on leaps and bounds, and walking him out and seeing him fight and being around the whole scene was really great as well. The atmosphere was great, and it was great to take it all in.
Now, without you thinking us Pep Talk boys stalk you, you have to tell all our listeners about something called the Murder Mile.
Oh man, the Murder Mile. Man, the finest hill in Wales. It's a hill obviously a mile long, speaks for itself. It's the Murder Mile. Separates the men from the boys. It's voted inside the top 10 1-mile hill climbs by Runners Magazine in Europe, so it's a serious hill, and yeah, like I said, it separates the men from the boys. Get all the cardio work done on there. So it's great. Gavin Rees is my coach, former world champion. He's driving up behind us in the car. He's keeping times, keeping tabs on us. So yeah, it don't get much better than that.
I like the way man's in a car and you're running and sweating it out.
Yeah, man. That's how it goes down. But there's an upside, you know. If you beat your time by more than 10 seconds, you might treat me to breakfast. So it's all good.
Yeah, but I know what a boxer's breakfast looks like, and for someone like me, my idea of a breakfast and what your guys' idea of a breakfast with all that porridge and all that sprinkly oat stuff is not breakfast.
After that Murder Mile, you can forget the porridge and oats. I'm in the sausages and bacon. Yeah, but it's all good.
Kody, we're going to be watching your career at Pep Talk. We wish you the best of luck with it. Go get them wins, go get them titles, and go represent Wales.
Thank you, man. I appreciate your time. Thank you a lot.
Now, one last thing, brother. Yeah. Go and shout out your social media handles so people in England can go back you.
Cool. Well, Instagram is Cody Davies 7, as well as Twitter, Cody Davies, Kody Davies, number 7.
And just as a final note, I got to interview Cody Davies. Woohoo!
Sorry, one more other thing as well. I'd like to thank Richie Morgan at Top Spec Motors and Lee Batchelor at Batch Plant. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Cody. We wish you all the best on fight night. Right now we hear from a lovely presenter trying to hand at promoting. It's going down on the 28th of April. It's called the Golden Gloves. It's Irene Choudhury.
Oi, oi, it's Frankie B. I'm joined by my good mate, Shaz.
How you doing, Frankie B?
I'm doing well, mate. Now, this is the first. You're joined by your relative, Irene Choudhury. How you doing, Irene?
Hi, how you doing, Frankie B?
I'm doing well. Now, I know you're doing quite a few bits out there. You've got an event. You want to tell us a bit about that?
Yeah, so I normally do ringside interviews at boxing shows, but I thought I'd step into the world of promoting.
Wow.
And I'm going to do my first unlicensed boxing show. I'm co-promoting with Golden Gloves Boxing League. They're a brand who are based in Southend, but they're going nationwide, and I'm heading up West London. So
In Chiswick.
In Chiswick. So it's at Brentford Fountain Leisure Centre on the March 17th. And I'd love everyone to come along.
Any particular startlets or prospects that we've got to look out for?
Well, basically, I've got guys of all levels of boxing, from novice to some experienced XAVIERs. So I guess we'll have to see how it goes on the night. And going forward, I mean, I'm hoping to spot a few talented. I've got an idea of a couple of them who are looking good already. I'm working with Stonebridge Boxing Gym. Yeah, of course. So they've got a whole load of talented guys who'll be fighting on my show. Also, I'm working with some other gyms around West London. So yeah, it's exciting.
Now, you briefly touched upon a co-promoter, a man I know well. I'm familiar with the Golden Gloves Boxing League. It's a friend of mine, Mr. Danny Morgan. Tell me about my friend Danny.
Well, Danny's been doing Golden Gloves Boxing League for quite some years now, and I was doing his ringside interviews on his show. And then I liked how he operated. I liked how he worked. The fights were so competitive. He puts a lot of money into the show, and he's matching. The fights are very competitive. All the lads, they go in there. There's no advantages given to home fighters. It's just a great night. So you've been there, haven't you, Shaz?
I've been to Southend. Great event, great entertainment. Danny, I love him. But so that people can follow Golden Gloves and come to this event, shout out your social media handles so everyone knows where you're at.
Oh, great. Okay, so follow me on Facebook and Instagram, spelled Irene, Irene, Choudhury, and on Golden Gloves Boxing League. We're both on Facebook and, of course, Instagram and Twitter.
I'm sure it's going to be a cracking event. We at Pep Talk are going to be following it. We're going to be supporting it.
Yay! Pep Talk are going to be there.
And I hope it's a cracking night, and it's the first of many more to come, and we wish you the best of luck promoting, and I hope you get the recognition you deserve.
Oh, thank you very much, and thank you, Shaz, and everybody follow Pep Talk.
Yes, thank you, Irene. Cracking stuff. Thank you.
Thank you, Irene. We look forward to many other events in the future. Finally, we hear from a young, aspiring amateur fighter from Wakefield who fights out at the Ingle Gym. It's Dominic Hunt.
Oi, it's Frankie B, and I'm joined by a man with a bright future. A man that goes by the name of Dom Hunt. How you doing, Geese?
I'm very well, thank you for having me.
Right, now, Dom, we're at the Ingle Gym. You're trained by famous boxing personalities. Who are they?
Well, I'm looked after by Junior Witter and, of course, the main man, Dom Ingle, as well. Junior still gets in the ring, beats me up in sparring, and then is in my corner for fights as well, so I get the best of everything.
How many amateur fights have you had so far?
I've had 19 now, so you could still say I'm a bit of a novice, but the sparring we get in this gym is just completely world class, so I like to think I'm a lot more advanced than my fight suggests, so I'm ready to turn over and make waves.
And how would you say training's gone for your fight that's up and coming?
Training's been brilliant. I've really been putting it in. I've been training with the pro guys and pushing them in sparring as much as I can, and I'm ready to go. I'd like this fight coming up. I get to become a 2-weight Yorkshire champion, so I can carry 2 belts around with me then, all being well, next weekend.
What are the type of things you pick up in training?
Well, you pick up so much. Like when I first came down, and you watch the world champs and how they do things, how they, they're stretching before training, how they wrap their hands. The tiny little things make such a big difference at the top level. And I always pick their brains. I ask them questions constantly, so I can learn every day from the best. But just watching them, you learn. And then when you're in the ring and you're sparring with them, it's brilliant. You couldn't ask for a better gym to train in, really.
Right, well, Dom, we'd like to wish you all the best.
Thanks very much for having me. I really appreciate this. And let's get it won next week.
Big up.
Let's go, Dominic. Get the W, son. Now it's football time. So, the big game that we preview this weekend is Manchester United against Liverpool. Now, who better to come onto the show to talk about that than MJ himself? MJ, you picked the perfect week to come back, mate. It's your team that are flying high in third against the second place team, only 2 points ahead of you guys. So there's all to play for in terms of the second position behind Man City, mate.
Frankie B, I had to cancel all holidays, cancel everything. This is the Battle of the Northwest. This is Manchester United versus Liverpool. 2 of the most successful teams in English football when it comes to actual honours, actually going head to head. We've got Mourinho versus Klopp. We've got so many plot lines. We've got Liverpool, who are second, who we're looking at if we're going to go into this match in the second spot. Right up until when United actually had this crazy comeback, which I can't hate on. It really upset me, but fair play to them.
3-2 against Crystal Palace, yep.
Nemanja Matic winner, late, so yeah. And it all boils down to this match. Liverpool actually going to Old Trafford to try to do something. We've seen Mourinho do what Mourinho does. I mean, we've spoken about this. If this man could play all 11 players behind the ball or just on the goal line, he will do that. He doesn't just want to pack buses. He wants to pack huge 747 planes. So yeah, but you know what? This weekend, you know, it's a big game and we're really looking forward to it because for the first time in a little while, Liverpool actually seem on the up. We finished above United last season because they finished 6th, but yet they qualified through winning the Europa League. This is actually talking about bragging rights, plus the battle for top 4 because Chelsea will come again and one of these two teams might potentially miss out with only 9 games to go after this weekend. But you know what? A prediction for this weekend, I'm going to shock everyone and I'm going to go for a Liverpool win. And the reason why I say
that's obvious.
Yeah, the reason why I say this, apart from my obvious disdain for Manchester United, is the fact that Jose Mourinho, in the past, he's got a very poor record against Jurgen Klopp. So that's the first thing I'll tell you. They've met so many times. Mourinho has only beaten Klopp once. And the one time he beat Jurgen Klopp was when Real Madrid were playing Borussia Dortmund. And Dortmund were actually winning so much from the first leg that even though Klopp lost the second leg, Dortmund still made it to the final to lose to Bayern Munich anyway. So Klopp's got a really commanding record against Jose Mourinho. And I've always said this about Mourinho. His teams don't do well against teams who press high. That's the reason why they lost to Huddersfield early on this season. Because the Jose Mourinho teams, they don't do well against teams who press high. So this is Mourinho's worst nightmare. And for that reason, United are not going to come out to actually try to play football or to take it to Liverpool. They're going to go defensive. Because Mourinho himself...
they definitely will go defensive. Definitely.
His tactics and the way he plays, they're going to go defensive and try to actually score a set piece. But we got the boy VVD to actually stop that. So Frankie B, I'm not sure how you see it as a neutral in this situation, but for me, I'm going for Liverpool to actually win 2-1.
MJ, I'll tell you this, I don't see many goals in this game. Potentially a 0-0, mate. I'm sorry to say, but if Liverpool, for me, if Man United do start to get ambitious during the game, you've got the perfect attack to hurt these guys. You know, you got Firmino, you got Salah. 32 goals this season, incredible.
Egyptian king, and you haven't even spoken about Sadio Mane. Oh, Mane.
Yeah. But the thing is, this is what I'm saying to you, because of your style, because really you guys are a counter-attacking team. Mourinho knows that. You know, he pays attention to detail with these things, and his team ain't going to open up for you to counter them. So it's going to be a very difficult game. And do you know what? They actually might beat you. I think they might beat you with some corner or free kick or something. They're going to sit back and wait for 1 or 2 opportunities. That's what they're going to do, because they're going to be so pissed frightened at you guys. Potentially it's going to be a 0-0, or Man United are going to get a 1-0 victory. But look, for me, that second place is still open for you guys, you know, despite the result this weekend. MJ, how patient is this board been with Arsene Wenger? Yeah, he's Arsenal's greatest ever manager, and he's done a lot for the club. I mean, his fabric is within the Emirates, but they're just simply not going anywhere.
Frankie B, you say how patient have they been? Like, Arsene Wenger has made those board members so much money. And you know what? We actually spoke about this in the previous transfer window. Arsene Wenger actually made a profit. One of the few teams in Europe to make a profit. And I believe they made more money than any other team in England's divisions. So literally, even the lower league sides were actually making losses. And Arsenal walk away, not finishing from the top 4, actually making some money. Plus in January as well. He made some good business as well. We need to remember, you guys sold Kieran Walcott. You sold Kieran Gibbs.
Chamberlain. We sold the whole right side.
Yeah,
Walcott and Chamberlain in one season.
You took all this money and you went to go buy Aubameyang. Like, even with the Aubameyang and the Mkhitaryan swap deal.
Mkhitaryan, MJ, let me tell you this. Mkhitaryan the other day was rubbish. He was absolutely cack. He was poor. You know, he runs around like a headless chicken and he loses the ball, and he's got no strength to get the ball back. Aubameyang himself, he needs to work harder. I mean, he's a striker with pace, but his movement behind defenders is almost non-existent. I don't know if that's a fitness-related issue, but from when companies catching you in a foot race, mate, you know, that you need to really analyse what you're doing in life. You know what I mean?
Yes, true. But what I will say, Frankie, is that, as you know, and as you've said many times on this pod, it's not about the players. You can't tell me that some of those players don't have quality. Mkhitaryan hasn't become a bad player overnight. Neither has Aubameyang become a bad player overnight.
But you see,
it's toxic at Arsenal, and there is no management. There's no game plan.
Yeah, there's no game plan from the top, and
there's
no in-game management. There's no out-of-game management. But if you look at Arsenal's team, it's like he's fitting in players into a starting 11. Like if you look at the back four, okay, everyone knows they needed a proper defender in the summer, right? Or even the transfer window in January, they didn't get one. Then they've got no defensive midfielder. Xhaka's not defensive midfielder. He doesn't snuff out danger. He's not even in the right position in front of the back four. They don't have one. But they sold Coquelin, yeah?
Didn't replace him.
That's what I'm saying. So for me, Xhaka's like a number 10. The way that he's always bombing forward, the way that he's trying to always get involved in the attacks, he's like a number 10. Wilkshire's a number 10. Ozil's a number 10. Mkhitaryan's a number 10. Can you see that Ramsey's potentially a number 10? Yeah. So they're fitting in all the similar type of players into one midfield, and they pass the ball sideways. They don't stretch teams. And to be fair, I'm getting a bit bored of Arsenal's style of play. Sideways passing. They don't release the ball quick enough, and there's no structure to the team. There's no pattern in the Arsenal team. That's the word I'm looking for. There's no pattern of play in the team. And Gary Neville, look, I hated him when he was playing for Man United, but he's got some points, Mustafi also was a disgrace the other day. He was a disgrace.
I mean, we Frankie B, I agree with every single thing you said, but we also have to remember Mustafi at the start of the year, he said he wanted to leave. He wanted to go and play for AC Milan, which I think everyone was shocked about. He was trying to force a move approaching deadline. And then you have Oxlade-Chamberlain, who took a pay cut to get out of there. It just seems like Arsene Wenger, Arsenal is still a great club and are still one of the top clubs in Europe. It's still a top destination. But when you've got players, like really good players, wanting to go elsewhere because they just believe that people can develop them a bit more, they can be coached better and things like that, it just seems like, at the start of the pod, I always sing this, and I believe every non-Arsenal fan sings this, Arsene Wenger, we want you to stay. Even the Brighton fan was singing it the other day.
Yeah. You see, we become a banter club, man. We definitely become a banter club.
Everyone wants Arsene Wenger to stay, apart from Arsenal fans, which is not a good. It's not a good sight, man.
Anyway, MJ, that's our time. I'd like to thank MJ, both from Truth and Fact Boxing. Join us again next week for another Pep Talk UK podcast. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and leave your comments in the box below. Thank you.
Pep Talk UK.